Okay, status report for the residents of Olds and anyone who's following the situation that Connor is in. This is status report number 6 for February 24th, 2014. This is actually part 2 about Child Protective Services, so it is a continuation from status message number 5. The message was getting rather long, and some of these longer ones I have trouble uploading, so I split it. I put a break in it. So anyways, to sum it up, where we are is that in Alberta, there's been quite a bit of movement, especially in the government at the provincial level, that Child Protective Services is becoming a very ineffective department, and that they're starting to fail our kids. And this is very evident in this particular case, especially a case where some of the parents that were involved have had a lot of involvement with Child Protective Services in the past and know how to prep and condition a child to give responses for these surprise interviews. And since Child Protective Services wants to take the arrogant approach that the only effective interview is a surprise interview, and their methods may work 60-70% of the time, but it is obviously becoming less and less effective. Otherwise, we wouldn't have so many kids slipping through the cracks. I think another challenge we have is that we have to bring up race. Everyone that's involved is Caucasian, and because we are all Caucasian, including the kids, there's a certain level of perception that Child Protective Services takes. I hate to bring it up, but if it was, if one member, for example, was a Native American or of certain gender, or not so much certain gender, but certain races, the kids would have been pulled out of the house a long time ago. So, the fact that it is an all Caucasian family is also playing hugely into this. So, the organization itself is most certainly failing our kids, and it's going to be interesting to see how they explain their way out of this one, especially when it goes up to the the ombudsman's office and it's looked at by higher powers, or when certain agencies actually get involved and actually start reacting and doing things as to whether we can say that this investigation was well done, poorly done, or whatever. I can tell you a great deal of factual information has been ignored simply because they feel if information doesn't come from them that it is not actual or accredited information. They are overlooking the fact that they've got a self-proclaimed and self-admitted child molester involved. They're overlooking the fact that the biological mother is a self-admitted alcoholic with violent tendencies. And they're overlooking the fact that there's hard narcotics usage that went on and is going on in their particular house. So I think what you've got to realize is that there is because they were forced to be involved. This isn't because they're forced to be involved. I was actually expecting this particular response from them. I wasn't expecting them to have a successful investigation. I knew that Connor's been being prepped and conditioned for close to a year now, so we all knew that he was going to successfully snowball Child Protective Services, at least at an Olds, Alberta level, until we get a level that's much higher up and is more effective. That agency in itself is going to have very little purpose, especially when we deal with people that think there's only one way to investigate something. And as long as we are, as there's some closed and narrow-mindedness coming out of their agency, we're never going to see anything. But this is a prime example of how Child Protective Services is in fact failing our kids in this province, which is another reason why I'm thinking very strongly about producing the book, so that maybe we can inspire some reform at a provincial law level, as opposed to allowing kids to continue to go on being molested, assaulted, and abused by biological family members. So anyways, I'm going to end this one at this for now. And if anything else comes out of the Child Protective Services side of it, I will update it. And I think for today, this will probably be the end of the status messages. So that means there were a total of 6, where status message number 5 about Child Protective Services was split into 2 separate status messages. So we're probably going to end it here today, especially since there's at least 4 to 6 hours worth of uploading to YouTube, and I've got to get the petitions all set up for everybody to sign, things like that. So there's a lot of information I'm putting online today, which means it'll probably be released to the public late today or tomorrow. And we'll start to see feedback and responses at that point in time. Based on questions that I get, at that point, maybe tomorrow or Wednesday, I'll put a couple of more status reports up with additional things. Probably later on in the week, if not the weekend, I'll start adding more pages to the site. I've got an idea of the next 5 to 10 pages that I'll put online, which of course itself will trigger a status report for new pages. So I thank you for listening. I thank you for paying attention. I thank you for your involvement. And please make sure you go to the website, which you'll find a link for below, and sign the petitions so that the misappropriation of provincial funds to a household that has a $50,000 to $60,000 income. Why are they using legal aid? Why are they using AISH? So on and so forth. For those of you that don't know what AISH is, it's an Alberta Assisted Living for the Disabled. But in this case, he's not disabled, and he has testified that he's not disabled and more than capable of working in his field. It's not even a matter of needing retraining and doing anything else. He is more than capable of working in his field. So, and I'll make sure that's on the website. So I believe I started something like that anyway. So, if you want to read more information on that, if it's not on the website already, which I will check, I will make sure it gets up there. So anyways, I thank you again, and as I said, I will put some more status online over the next couple of days. I'll get the petitions online, I'll get this all publicly released, and based on feedback, I will put some clarification messages up if they need to be clarified. Thanks again, and God bless.